So the time has come to say goodbye to Matt and Caroline. It's always super special to have them up here. I just love both of them so much, and I love Matt's humor and hearing Caroline. She is just like how she was with the boys with Matt. So you'll hear her just like screaming and laughing and like him carrying her around, or you know, them just playing. They're always playing together, which is really nice and super refreshing, you know. So but she's just how she was like when she was a kid. Like she even like brought us back all of these icicles from all the different cabins. Like that's something she would do when she was a kid. So I love that she hasn't forgotten to play. And you know, that's something that Pete and I, we always keep in check of, like, to remember to play, to remember to kind of be little again. It's been really special. I think one of my favorite times, and I didn't get to film it because I was just kind of in the moment, was Caroline and I was just showing her my machine. I hate saying that because it's just our family machine. Oh, it's a raven. That's why he's barking. You can hear the little clucking that they make a sound of. But it was nice. So I was just showing her how to drive it, even though she knows exactly how to drive it. But it was just fun to just sit on the back, and still it kind of hits me like, oh my goodness, this is a grown woman, you know, that's married, and who knows what the next chapter is for them. But, you know, she's showing me around and just driving together. It was a lot of fun. It was really special, and half of me wishes I would have filmed it, but the other half is even more happy that I didn't, because it was just between her and I. So, and I also didn't film, like, we made a beautiful chili and some cornbread, and then she made this amazing queso with some steak in it, like dynamite queso. And so I learned something, and I hope to make it for you guys, because that was just really, really, really good. And really simple. Crazy, I know, guys, right? But and then this morning I put it on steak and eggs, the leftover queso, and drizzled over it. Oh, it was just heaven. So, but yeah, really enjoyed my time with both her and Matt, and we got a lot of like talking time and just relaxing. It was like, we need always a few more days with them because it's always just so fast. And hopefully it's not over a weekend, because before us, always releasing on the weekend, we're really busy, like, because you know, the boys are all editing, and we're kind of filming the very last of the video, and then uploading, saving, and then making reels and all that kind of stuff. So if they were able to come on like a Tuesday and Wednesday, or a Monday and Tuesday, that's like technically not our weekend, but just more slower pace, you know. But we'll get it figured out, and yeah, so we're just about ready to say goodbye to Matt and Caroline. It was a beautiful time, as always, and we wish them safe travels back to their home. They're too fast.
Too fast. Oh.
Wow, the house is, or cabin is so quiet after Caroline and Matt leave. Well, Matt's a little bit quieter, but Caroline, whenever she's with her brothers, is very lively. But yeah, so we're just gonna make dinner and then call it evening.
Good morning, guys. This morning it's quite pleasant and relatively warm out here, so that's kind of a nice break from the deep freeze we were having. But along with that came some high winds. They're saying wind gusts of up to 67 kilometers, so I'm not sure what that is in miles, probably what, 40 something? Those are big wind gusts. And so I'm going to go out on the snowmobile and check on our ice tent and see if it's still there. We did stake it down pretty good, and if you recall from last video, Matt pushed a lot of snow up along the bottom of it, but I'm going to head out there and just make sure it's still here, or if not, we'll have to chase it down the lake somewhere. But yeah, that's a gorgeous day, but super windy. So the hut is still standing. The stakes have held and the snow Matt put around it have held. But that wind is pretty fierce. That's about the limit of what it can take, I'm sure. I don't want to open the door because then it'd catch wind inside and that'd be the end of it. Fair bit of slush forming on top of the ice. You can get the feeling that, you know, there's water, but it's just water on top of the foot of ice. This time of year, heavy snowfall can create slush on the lake. The weight of the snow presses down on the ice, forcing water up through the cracks and fissures. This forms a layer of slush beneath the snow in certain areas. It can feel unsettling, almost like you're riding over open water, but in reality, it's just water sitting on top of the thick, solid layer of ice.
So today is just a big kind of catching up chore day. I've been organizing all of our laundry, and so it's easier to take over across the lake and do it in town. And then all of our firewood is gone that was up here on the main deck. So now I'm going to be taking my harvest carrier and just loading up just loads and loads of firewood from our woodshed over here and bringing it inside. We have ordered another load of firewood, and we will just bring it over by sled. So, but we do have all those trees to cut down and split here. So between those two, I think we're pretty good. But yeah, it just wasn't enough firewood, and maybe it's just time to get a new stove. Our stove is quite old and just not that efficient. I think it burns for like 4 hours instead of 6 to 8 hours, like a normal stove, a good efficient stove would. And we decided that this year we're going to pull the trigger and get a new stove, and then do the piping going up straight through the roof and do double walled pipe, because the single walled pipe just does a lot of leaking. It's pretty messy and it has a smell to it, which I don't mind, but it's not the cleanest, you know. So that's kind of exciting to just kind of go over things. And now this is our second year, you know, staying over winter. You learn more about, you know, the top things that need to be done for future winters and future use of our old cabin. So first things first, firewood, obviously water, that's a daily chore, and just organizing things and cleaning up.
Morning.
How'd you sleep?
Good.
Are you staying warm? You staying warm?
Yeah.
So I think I got enough firewood here. This is what I was explaining to you guys about with this old pipe that's single walled and not double walled, insulated. This winter it's dripping all this creosote, and no matter how much we seal it or anything, I just think it's just kind of rusted through. Yeah, it's been fun to just kind of dream and look around at different options. I really like the wood stoves that have the little oven in it too. It's pretty fascinating, and I want to be able to like boil a kettle of water. It does do that here, but not that well. Like it's not, for some reason, just not that hot on this surface. I'm gonna grab a 5-gallon bucket and walk around the forest and collect a bunch of birch bark for fire starter. That's the best stuff ever. I've been kind of buying some things and trying out things, but the old birch bark is the best. And actually, a birch tree just fell down over in our little bay, so I'll probably take Lando over there and collect that. But it just keeps on snowing. It's unbelievable. I don't think I've ever experienced this much snow, so it's been really magical. And it's not wet, it's really fluffy, which is nice. But yeah, so let's go get a bucket and collect some birch. So I'm just walking over to Dan's little cabin here and getting that bucket. I believe he was the last one collecting some birch. So almost there. So this is the fallen birch. There's a lot of snow on it though. Hey, Lando. I think Daniel's kind of picked this side clean already. I mean, I can get little pieces, but yeah, I mean, it's okay. But there's another tree, birch tree, that snapped in half, and it's behind our cabin on the other side. And in the, yeah, just right behind our cabin. Maybe I'll check that out, but at least I got the snow off of this. And I think it's supposed to get kind of warm, like -5 or so. And it'll soften some of this up. What do you got? Don't scare the rabbit. But yeah, this whole birch tree snapped off and it fell over the water that way. So I don't know if it's punky or what, or if we can cut it up and harvest this. But yeah, let's go check out that other tree. Come on, Lando. Lando, oh, there you are. Wow. You see how dangerous this birch is? It's coming straight back at me. I think I'll get Pete to put a rope around it, get far away from it and pull it. And then I can harvest off all the birch bark, but that's really dangerous. If it's windy and Lando's, you know, chasing squirrels under here, I just worry about that coming crashing down. So I'm gonna hold off on that one. That's just not safe enough to be underneath it. There's plenty others that have fallen on the ground or branches. I don't like to take it off of the live trees, but maybe a few pieces, but not like strip it. So what an amazing day. It's so warm compared to, you know, the -30s and 40s that we've been experiencing. Lando's just going nuts as if it's summertime, just chasing everything and just excited, barking at everything. But yeah, no wind. And so I kind of want to get all these little chores done when the weather's like this, and you can actually enjoy it being outside and wear a light jacket, light gloves. So I just dumped the ashes out of here this morning and put it in the garden and some in the outhouse, and then I let it cool down, and it's been a few hours. Let's get the birch in here. Makes it fast to start up a fire in the morning. So now I'll just get some kindling and then stack up that area. So a mix of kindling with the birch is really nice in the mornings. I love this little guy. This is a little character that Daniel carved. We have so many of these around the cabin. It's really cute, but this is my Christmas one. Need to almost put that away soon. So I'm just cutting up this chuck roast, and I'll season it and let it sit overnight in a bowl in the fridge for tomorrow. And we'll be making some beef tacos, or some street tacos.
Hey guys, so there's been a lot of questions because we've been showing you how we get water currently by going down, drilling through the ice and bringing up buckets. There's a lot of questions about what our plans are for water, and a lot of you have given all kinds of wonderful suggestions in the comment section to try to make life easier. But we do have a plan, and I described it 2 years ago a system that we found, but at the time we couldn't put it in because it required electricity. We didn't have the batteries installed yet, so we're just slowly putting the infrastructure in place to be able to use the system. But it's going to go in this room. So this is, we built a screened-in porch here when we built the addition, but it turns out that we've used it more for storage. It's not really big enough to facilitate sitting in. We'll probably do a bigger screened-in area somewhere else. So what we did though, the floor and the roof, the ceiling, and two of the walls are insulated, including these, the bottom part of these. So what we're thinking is we replace the screen door and the two screen sections with insulated windows, winterized doors and everything, and that can become part of the house. And then what we're going to do is make that our plumbing room, and we'll put a washer and dryer in there. Now that we have battleboard batteries, we have the solar panels, and we have power. Now, to talk about the winterized water system, somebody has developed like 10 years ago, so it's been in play for a long time. They developed a system that has a submersible pump in the lake. You run a power cord down to that. You run your typical line like we do in the summer. And what happens is when the pump kicks on, it pushes water up from the lake into a holding tank, which will be in this room. It fills the holding tank and then it turns off the pump automatically. And there's a valve under that allows the water out. And that happens underwater. It has to be about 6 feet down so it doesn't freeze. There's a section about 3 feet that goes through the ice. And on that section there's a heated cable that wraps around it. And that's why another reason why we needed the power to run that heated cable and keep it from freezing throughout the winter. You need a decent consistent power supply. So if we install that next year, we should have flowing water, and I'll put a diagram up here to try to explain what I just talked about. But then we should have flowing water summer and winter, and that'll be a game changer because then our water heaters will work. We can have hot showers and dishes, as well as they supply some filtration units, infrared and all kinds of things that will make it so we can just drink water right out of the tap. So we can't even imagine such luxuries, but I think it's about $6,000–7,000 worth of equipment, so we've been saving up. But we're pretty close to being in the position to be able to do that for next winter if we decide to stay up here. And regardless, that's something we want to get in place. So that's an update on the water.
So Pete and Dan just did a load of gas and my laundry and just odds and ends that I'm going to be taking with me to do a shopping trip tomorrow. So in the meantime, I'm going to be making a really simple hamburger soup. The first time I ever had hamburger soup was on our way up to Tuktoyaktuk, and I thought, hamburger soup, that sounds disgusting. Like I was just picturing a hamburger. And she's like, no, basically it's just ground beef, seasoning, and then you throw in whatever's left over in the kitchen. So from onions, peppers, carrots, leeks, like whatever you like, potatoes, tomatoes, and it just is so delicious. And I have all these carrots that need to be used. I won't use it all in this meal. I'll probably only use like 3 of them. I know Daniel hates celery, so I'll just use a little bit of this. But he loves kale, which is so random to me. But I'm gonna try out this peppers and onions. So I think one medium one with a little bit of this will be really, really nice.
actually going to be talking to the doctor about my nose. You probably heard I have a nasal, like a sinus issue. Not too sure what it is, but hopefully they will. And looking for some relief from that. It's like having really bad sinuses all the time. It's no fun at all. But anyway, on our way into town, we got out this morning and it was just overnight. We had got some lake effect snow, probably easy 8 inches, maybe a foot, and the lake is just, from the wind the other day, it's just drifted over. It's crazy. I've never seen conditions like this, but that's what we were asking for, was a real winter, and we sure got one this year. All right, I should explain our whole healthcare situation. So when we started traveling, we had a family doctor back in our old town where we lived, and then he retired somewhere along the way, and so now we're back. We're in a different town, so we've applied to get a family doctor, but that was like 3 years ago, and we still haven't even heard from one. So there's a massive shortage of family doctors, at least in Ontario. I don't know if that's the same all across Canada. And so all we can do is go to these walk-in clinics, and you literally have to sit there for hours waiting, and then you get a different doctor every time. At least they keep good notes and everything, but it's just not the same as having proper health care. It's quite unacceptable, really, in a modern country like Canada. I'm sitting in there, most of the time I'm appalled, and so are the doctors themselves. They're very apologetic. Anyway, my appointment today, I went in, took a number, waited in the lobby until I saw the number before we go up, and then I went in, submit my health card, and they say, okay, go grab a seat. And I said, well, can I go out and come back? Approximately, how long is the wait? She said, oh, it's pretty fast today, it's only an hour. So I thought, great. So Carol and I went shopping for 45 minutes, came back, waited a little bit, went in, saw the doctor, and she was super nice, but she was, we started talking a little bit about what I do for work, and talking about her industry and why things are the way they are. And she said she's actually retired, but she came back out of retirement just to help because there's such a massive shortage of doctors. And so anyway, she was very helpful with me, and obviously it's some kind of sinusitis, which she's giving me a prescription to try something for that. But I said, I think it's more than that. I probably have nasal polyps. I don't know. We've been doing our own research online, and there's some non-invasive surgery that needs to take place, and I can't remember the name of it. And she said, yeah, that's probably the issue. And I said, I live on an island, so it's not easy for me to get into the doctor and try this, try that, try something for the next 3 weeks. It's just almost impossible. Let's just get right to the point. So she said, well, I'll give a recommendation to a nasal specialist, but 8 to 10 months minimum wait, which again is unacceptable. So like, I'm a professional speaker, and I'm on YouTube, and our viewers on YouTube, you guys are always saying, hey, you've got some kind of nasal issue going on, and it's been 8 months at least, so I can't wait 8 months. So I said, can I go to the States and just pay and get the surgery done? And she said, oh yes. She looked around quietly. Yes, that's what I would recommend. I said, all right, that's what we're probably going to do. But she put in a recommendation to a local nasal specialist, and she said they should contact you. And I said, any idea when? And she said, no. I said, well, I'll wait a little bit for them to contact me. If they don't, we're just going to make an appointment. We'll find a good nasal specialist in the US of A, and pay them what it costs and get the job done. And I think that's the way it should be, especially if it affects your work. I can't take on speaking assignments right now because I can't stand on stage and not be able to talk. So,
and I can't sleep.
And Carol can't sleep because I don't actually snore as in a traditional snore, but it's super loud when my nose is completely blocked off at night. Plus I can't smell anything, which is horrible because I love the smell of coffee and Carol's delicious meals. I just take their word for it that they smell good. I love listening to the kids go, oh man, it smells so good. But anyway, something I got to deal with ASAP. So if there's any nasal specialists watching right now, give me a call. Good morning, guys. So today's a really fun day at the cabin. My brother Seth and his, I think 3 of his boys are up from the Ottawa, Ontario area with their snowmobiles, as well as my other brother Ben and 3 of his boys. So we got a really fun day ahead. Our boys are super excited to go snowmobiling with them, show them around some different trails that we found, and maybe do some ice fishing. So yeah, I'm gonna go say hi to my brother.
Wolf Mountain, Lake Wanapitei, and I'm the Wolf Mountain.
Today is really cold. It's probably minus 25, but it feels like minus 30. But it's crisp and the powder is perfect, the ice is perfect, and it's sunny. So can't complain there. But we have, like we said, Peter's 2 brothers, Seth and Ben, and their boys. So it's been really fun because we don't get to always see them, and we just love them so much. But I'm making a bilya. That's not how you say it. Dad. Okay, birria. I'm gonna be making a super simple birria, and I don't have the peppers, like the dried peppers or anything, so I'm just gonna use a jar and just use what I have on hand, and it should still turn out really, really good. So yeah, I'm just gonna heat up the pan here, and I had the chuck roast cubed and seasoned and then let sit overnight, and I'm gonna get it going because it should take about 3 to 5 hours. So I want to make sure they have a nice snack before some of them head out back home in the Ottawa area. It smells amazing with the onion, white onion cooking with all the meat juice and oregano, salt and pepper. Did a big trail with all the guys, our uncles.
Big loop. One end of the lake, all through the forest, through multiple lakes, and then onto an OFSC trail, and then back around through a couple other lakes in the woods. But we had a bit of an adventure for a minute as we were crossing these little rivers. Dan went over one behind a guy a little too slow and broke right through, and his snowmobile was stuck in the water for a good hour.
Make sure to watch Pete Jr. and Dan's upcoming videos for the full adventure. If you haven't subscribed yet to their channels, click the links in the description of this video.
And then Dan with the step, you know, on that little
Nope.
Daddy.
Watch
Hi, Wes. Was that fun? Yeah. You have a IG account, right?
Yeah.
Wes Adventure, or what is it called? Can you tell me? You're Wes, and you have this cool mic that you can talk to everyone.
Captured memories. What do you think about the snow? Pretty good?
Yeah.
About perfect? After hours of playing in the snow, it was time for a quick lunch before my brother and his sons had to cross the lake and begin their 7-hour journey home. A few hours later, the birria beef tacos were ready, and let me tell you, they were delicious. As the sun set on another beautiful day, our hearts were full of gratitude for friends, for family, and for the time we get to share together.